Hi, this is Tom Soane, and I've got a quick landlord tip for how you can really extend that initial move-in buzz that your tenant has, and how you can keep that going for a bit longer. You know what I mean, you move into a new place, you got a bit of a buzz about you, and you're all thrilled and excited at moving into a new property. Well, your tenant has that. This might be your 20th tenancy at that property for you, Mr. and Mrs. Landlord, but your tenant's moving into your place for the first time ever. And it could be they're moving upwards, they're getting a bigger property, it's their first time property. It could be they're moving in with their other half for the first time ever. And that initial buzz that they get when they move straight into the property, I want to show you how you can extend that buzz and keep it going, because we all know a happy tenant is a better investment. So first of all, I want to ask you, any of you that are watching this or listening to this, do you invest anything into your tenant's happiness? What do you do? And don't give me a load of crap, don't give me a load of bullshit. Tell me honestly what you guys do when your tenant moves into one of your properties or your only property. What do you do for them to, I guess, enhance that move-in day buzz? So some of you I know will probably give little gifts, some will do little hampers, some will give other gifts. So I'm really interested to find out, because I'm looking for ideas myself as well. I've always tried to do little bits and pieces to try and keep the tenant happy. But I'm going to give you this tip anyway. When that tenant moves in, don't give them that gift at that time. I know that sounds weird. If you give them a little gift, if you're one of those landlords that gives their tenant a little gift, it might be a hamper with some tea and coffee and bread and sugar, or it might be some chocolate, some wine, it might be some flowers, all of that sort of stuff. Don't give it to them on moving day. I know that sounds really weird. Everybody tells you give them something on moving day. No, don't give them something on moving day. And let me tell you why. On moving day, they're already buzzing. Now, don't get me wrong. Your gift on moving day is a nice little surprise for them. Please don't get me wrong about that. But I think you can extend that buzz by giving them that gift after they've made their first rent payment. How awesome is that? Because they've got that whole month where they've moved into the property, they're buzzing, they're really enjoying it, they're thrilled, they're excited, they're telling all their friends, they're telling all their family, they're having a housewarming party. And then a month later, when they really start settling down, they've unpacked all their boxes, they've put everything away, and they've started getting new furniture, and they've put things where they want them. And then all of a sudden, a month later, they get a lovely little hamper with some wine and some chocolates and some flowers or something like that from their landlord. Now that will re-energize that little buzz. It will just make them feel welcome and wanted. Now, I'm not saying don't do anything on moving day. Congratulate them, wish them all the best, send them a nice card, give them a little message to say that you're really pleased that they're moving in, you're really happy to have them as tenants. But then 1 month later, when they make their first rent payment successfully and on time, send them something. You don't have to spend much money, and it's an investment. Trust me, it's an investment. And just send them a little hamper or a little pack or a little gift or something nice that says to them, I really value you as my tenant. I'm really happy you moved in as my tenant. I'm your landlord. I want to make you feel welcome and special. And I promise you, that buzz that tenant feels at the beginning will extend a bit longer. But also that tenant will be much more loyal to you, and there will be a better tenant in the long run. Because look, I don't know if anybody that's watching this or is listening to this has ever been a tenant before. And if you have you ever had a landlord who's an absolute tight ass, who literally cuts corners and won't get this fixed, won't get that fixed, won't give any kind of help or support to you as a tenant? Or have you ever heard any stories about tenants that have had that same sort of tight ass landlord? I speak to them every day. I'm not going to name names, but my letting agent has a few of those tight landlords, and you have to kind of battle with them a bit. But what happens is, if you're a tight ass landlord, the tenant treats you like a tight-ass landlord. The tenant won't be as accommodating and flexible and helpful and supportive, and then when you come to increase the rent, which I hope you're doing, by the way, I'm not saying increase it dramatically, just in line with market value, that's fair. Anyway, that's a whole different video. But when you come to increase the rent, your tenant's going to be more accommodating of that. When things go wrong with the property and you have a difficulty in fixing it, the tenant will be more accommodating for that, more flexible, more forgiving. And that's what makes a good investment, because remember, profit in property is not just the money. It's to do with the money, and it's great to make awesome profit in property, but it's not just about the money. Imagine if your tenant is constantly having a go at you. You know, the little tiniest thing that goes wrong in the property, they're straight onto you because they think you're a tight ass. Or what would be better if there's a tiny little thing that goes wrong and the tenant just says, do you know what? I'm not going to bother my landlord, I'll just get it sorted, or something like that. What a better tenant that would be. So the moral of that story is get the tenant a little gift after they make their first rent payment. That's the key moment. That's the point in their tenant journey where you've got an opportunity to, first of all, establish your own loyalty with the tenant. Second of all, you're able to build a bit of trust, a bit of respect, and a bit of a relationship with the tenant. And that's even if you're an anonymous landlord. Get your agent to send a little gift. Get your agent to do that with every single tenancy that you do, to spend 20 quid. It's 20 quid. Spend 20 quid on a bottle of wine, some flowers and chocolates. And tell your agent, every time you move a tenant into one of my properties, then I want you to do that automatically. I don't want to have to remind you. 1 month in, bam, package arrives at the door, tenant's got a big smile on their face. That's the way to do it. Treat your tenants with respect. Treat your tenants as if you want them, and they will treat you the same way. So I hope that helps. Hey, let me know. I'm really interested actually to see what other people do. You know, I normally, I'm starting now to do wine and chocolates, because I think everyone likes wine, everyone likes chocolates, right? But I'd be interested to know your ideas and what you think. And by the way, do not forget to subscribe to my podcast, The Anonymous Landlord. I'm so chuffed with it. I'm probably giving away a bit more information than perhaps I should. I could probably charge a lot of money for some of the advice and information and tips and hints and training that I give there. But you know, I quite enjoy doing this, and you know, I was always told that you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do, and I love doing this. I love giving my advice out. I love giving my experience out and knowledge if I know. I like getting knowledge too. So The Anonymous Landlord is the podcast, and hey, look, if you want to discuss anything to do with lettings, being a landlord, property investment, property sales, anything like that, just give me a shout. I can help you with anything, and I'd like to give my advice for free. I enjoy it. It's good fun. I like to meet new people and share my experience. You know what? I'm a property investor myself. I've made mistakes. I've made successes. I've failed here and I've succeeded there. And what's the point in you guys making the same mistakes that I've made when I can just tell you what mistakes I made and you can learn from them? So anyway, I think I've waffled on too long there. This is my little morning commute to the office, and during that commute I like to share a few little tips and hints. I hope that helps, and I will speak to everybody later on.